Today we are going to discuss about the position of hydrogen in the periodic table. So in most of the periodic tables, hydrogen is placed in the middle of the periodic table. Why? So before that, I would like to go through briefly about the periodic table and what is meant by the periods and what is meant by the groups. This we will discuss in detail in another chapter. But here, for just to explain our statement, the position of the hydrogen, we need to know what is meant by the periods, what is meant by the groups, and what is the periodic table. So what is meant by periodic table? Periodic table is a chart or a table in which the atoms are arranged in increasing their atomic number, and atoms are arranged in a certain rows in increasing atomic number, and that rows are known as periods. And the atoms of similar chemical properties are arranged in a certain columns, and that columns are known as groups. So first group contains lithium, sodium, potassium, and so on. And all these elements have same chemical properties. That's why they belong in the same group. And if you go to the extreme right end of the periodic table, the last group is noble gas, and just before that there is a seventh group, and that group is known as a halogen group, seventh group. Here we can see all the halides: fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, so and so. So these all halides, or all these atoms or these elements have same chemical properties. That's why they are placed in the seventh group. But here the hydrogen, in most of the cases, hydrogen shows many resemblance with the first group elements. At same time, hydrogen shows many similarity with the seventh group elements. So when we analyze the electronic configuration of a hydrogen atom, we know the atomic number of hydrogen is 1. So hydrogen has electronic configuration 1s1. Hydrogen has electronic configuration 1s1 because it is the first element. So this electronic configuration is very similar to the first group elements, that is alkali metals. So in alkali metals, all the alkali metals have one electron in their outermost shell. So alkali metals have general electronic configuration of ns1. That is why they are in the first group of the periodic table. So when we take the electronic configuration of first group elements, so lithium atomic number 3, so there's 1s2, 2s1. So when we go to sodium atomic number 11, so we can write 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. So the first shell is known as a K shell, L and M. So the outermost shell here is known as a K shell and this is a L. So the outermost orbital of alkali metals is generally contains 1 electrons. It's very similar to the hydrogen electronic configuration. So like alkali metals, because if alkali metals loses its outermost electron, it can attain the octet stability noble gas electronic configuration, that means 2 6, that means 8 electrons in their outermost orbital. So if sodium atom lose 1 electron, it forms Na positive. That means sodium ion will get extra noble gas stability when that loses its outermost electron and become positive ion. Similarly, hydrogen also has a tendency to form a positive ion. So same way in the case of 7th group elements. What are 7th group elements? The fluorine, chlorine, bromine. So fluorine has atomic number 9. So we can write the electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. So generally the halides or halogens are short of 1 electron to form their octet stability. So all the halogen atoms has a tendency to accept an electron and to form a negative ion. So that's why fluorine forms fluoride ion and chlorine forms chloride ion. So similarly, the hydrogen also forms a H negative ion, hydride ion. So just like halides forms their negative ions, hydrogen also forms a negative ion. So that means hydrogen also shows very resemblance with the halogens. So another similarity is the diatomic state of hydrogen atom. You know, hydrogen generally forms a diatomic molecule, H2 molecule. So like 7th group elements, see chloride is a diatomic gas, and F2 fluoride. So like halides, generally like halides, 7th group elements, hydrogen also forms a hydrogen molecule, diatomic molecule, H2 molecule. So this also shows very similarity with the halides. Even though, so hydrogen shows some similarity with the halides and alkali metals, definitely hydrogen shows some dissimilarity with the alkali metals and halides. So hydrogen, like other alkali metals, hydrogen also forms oxide. Alkali metals react with oxygen, forms their oxides. Sodium oxide, for example, sodium react with oxygen, forms sodium oxide. Potassium forms potassium oxide. So similarly, hydrogen react with oxygen, forms its oxide, H2O, that's the water. So sodium oxide and oxides of hydrogen is a water. So this is another similarity of hydrogen with the alkali metals. So generally hydrogen shows many similarity with the alkali metals and 7th group elements. So that is why hydrogen placed in the middle of the periodic table.